right, guys, the last shape we need to learn to take the surface area of is a cone. So the surface area of a cone is pi r squared plus pi r L. Again, the r is the radius of the circle, and L is that slant height. So let's look at some examples. Find the surface area of each cone. All right, for this one, surface area, I need the radius and the slant height. Okay, they give me my radius, that's here, that's the 7. And they also give me my slant height, that's this 15. So I'm going to plug it in. Pi times 7 squared plus pi times 7 times that 15. And again, that pretty much becomes a calculator problem. You can say 7 squared is 49 pi, but you can still just key in the whole thing if you want to. I did simplify that one side. All right, so we're going to key in here 49 pi plus pi times 7 times 15. And that gives us 483.8. So our surface area is 483.8, and it's inches squared. Okay, if we look at our next example, number 11, again, they give us our radius. It is 7. But this time, they give us this middle side here. So I need to know this side, this L, that slant height is what I need to know. Now, again, this creates a right triangle. So I can find this side, which would be the hypotenuse, using the Pythagorean theorem. So we're going to do that to start with, okay? So we're going to have 7 squared plus 24 squared has to equal L squared. All right, 7 squared is 49. If you put in 24 squared, you're going to see that that's 576. When you add those two together, you get 625. And then to find just L, we take the square root of both sides. Square root of 625 is 25. So our L, our slant height, is 25. Now to find the surface area, we're going to plug into this formula. Pi r is 7 squared plus pi r is 7, and the slant height is 25. Okay, so I'm going to show you, I could key this whole thing in the calculator. I could simplify to 49 pi like I did over there, but I'll show you how to key the whole thing in. So pi 7 squared plus pi times 7 times 25. Notice the use of parentheses. And you can also use the Desmos scientific calculator on the computer or on your phone app. So we get 703.7. 703.7 meters squared for our surface area there. Okay, I'm going to do a couple more examples with you. So let's go down here and look at example 12. All right, this time it's very similar as far as the slant height goes to what we just did. It gives me this measurement, but it doesn't give me the slant height. You'll notice also that it tells us the diameter instead of the radius. But if you know the diameter, remember we take 10 and divide it by 2 to come up with our radius. So that is what our r is equal to. So that means each side here is 5. The reason I need to know each side is because this creates a right triangle, and I need to find that slant height L. In order to do that, I'm going to have to use the Pythagorean theorem. So this is going to be 5 squared plus the 12 squared has to equal the hypotenuse squared, which is my slant height that I need to know. All right, 5 squared is 25. 12 squared is 144. If you add those two together, you get 169. And then to find just L, you take the square root of both sides, which gives us that L is equal to 13. Now we can find our surface area. Okay, refer back up to your formula up here. It's pi r squared plus pi r L. So pi r is 5 squared plus pi times r, which is 5, times L, which is 13. And we're going to key that in the calculator. Okay, pi times 5 squared plus pi times 5 times 13. That gives us 282.7. 282.7. So our surface area is 282.7, and this time it's inches squared for that one. Okay, let's look at number 13. This time, they don't tell us the diameter or the radius, but they do tell us the slant height, and they tell us this measurement. So I'm actually just looking for a different side using the Pythagorean theorem. I have the hypotenuse and one side, but I need to know this other side. So we'll call that our x. So x squared plus 15 squared has to equal the 17 squared. Okay, 15 squared is 225, and 17 squared is 289. If we subtract 225 from both sides, that gives us 64. And then if we take the square root, that gives us x equals 8. X equals 8. So that means our radius is 8. So r equals 8. So our radius is 8 and our slant height is L. Okay, now we can find our surface area. It's pi r squared, r is 8, plus pi times r, which is 8, times L, which is 17. And we're going to key that in our calculator. So pi 8 squared plus pi times 8 times 17. All right, we get 628.3. So 628.3 meters squared for our surface area. All right, guys, that is the surface area of a cone. As always, if you have questions, let me know.